Well, that's a great speech, Gary, great. To see someone from Australia to come and string so many coherent words together. Firstly, I think I should introduce myself. I'm Steve Bennett. I'm one of Jeremy's oldest and best friends, I like to think. We met at Wareham Middle School down in Dorset in the late 80s, nearly 20 years ago. And we've been good friends ever since. And how we've managed to stay good friends, I'm not sure. But I've managed to endure Jeremy for all those many years. And I think the secret in a relationship, in a friendship, or even a marriage, is space. It started when Jeremy moved off to boarding school. That was about 60 miles. We found that he'd turn up every few weeks with a sleeping bag under his arm looking for a room, and that was a bit too much. So next thing I tried 6,000 miles. That was pretty good, but with Simon's help he still managed to track me down. I've settled now for about 3,000 miles, and I think I've got a feeling that Sarah and Jeremy might track us down yet in Dubai. Now to my speech. This is a bit of a worry, probably for the audience rather than myself. I've not got a very good track record of speeches. Last one I made back at my own wedding in '97 in Bath. A few people here were present on that day. I'd only just started my speech when it all started to go wrong. My wife, with only a few hours, and my mother-in-law started to distract me by whispering, telling me to sit down, and I'd gone on too long. And they knew that when I was only an hour into the speech. It's not a good omen for today, so I'll do my best. I think Gary's dished most of the dirt there is to dish on Jeremy. I think his description of Uncle Les was a bit rough. I mean, he was quite a good-looking man. Bit of a shame. I think the rest of the dish, the rest of the dirt I have to dish on Jeremy is probably not quite fit for such an audience with such a sensitive disposition as we've got today. So I'll leave that to one side. What I did decide to focus on in my speech is trying to come up with some advice for a happy couple on a very special day. Now I feel well placed to offer some sound advice to Jeremy and Sarah. We've been married for 8.5 years now, so Rachel here. Got 2 beautiful children, 1 more on the way. So what's the secret? Boxer shorts. Sorry, no, the secret to a good marriage. The secret to a good marriage is possibly some advice I was offered on my own wedding day by my father-in-law, which is actually a slogan some of you might be familiar with. It comes from a very large multinational sportswear company, and it was simply, just do it. Simple and effective, and a good bit of advice about getting on with life and enjoying yourself. So I tried to come up with something similar for Jeremy and Sarah on their special day. Something that would stick with them through their married life and remind them of my insight, my intelligence and my wit. So I started out researching this on the World Wide Web. Now, I'm not normally one for looking on the web for speeches, that sort of thing. At the conference recently I was there, and the chairman was introducing guests, and he obviously didn't know anything about these people. All he'd done was looked up their names on Google and pointed out that perhaps one speaker shared his name with a one-armed country and western singer, one shared his name with an ice hockey player from Finland, and as you can see, that's not very funny. Not the best use of the world's greatest resource. Not at all. But despite that, I felt it necessary to have a look on the internet. I started with Google, and the first thing I came up with to try to find some piece of advice for Jeremy and Sarah was something simply calling itself the Advertising Slogan Generator. This was a great site which provided me with hours of fun. I might get a minute or 2 in my speech, possibly a laugh. Or maybe not. By entering a name into this site, you can randomly generate an advertising slogan. And I came up with some that Sarah might be interested in. Just picking a name out from random, I got the following slogans. For example, a Jeremy a day helps you work, rest and play. You can be sure of Jeremy. What would you do for a Jeremy? Have a break. Have a Jeremy. try Jeremy, you'll like it. And the best one, you can join in if you know it, the future's bright. So, after exhausting all the possibilities of the slogan generator, I carried on with my quest to find a good bit of advice for Jeremy and Sarah. Hours of intensive research later, or possibly 10 minutes before I got on the plane at the airport, I found some famous and not so famous brands that offered up some interesting possibilities. For example, from Microsoft, conjuring up the anticipation, the excitement of the newly married couple, where do you want to go today? Second, I'm not sure if this is for Jeremy and Sarah, but from Burger King, have it your way. From Volkswagen Polo, something for Sarah to remember tonight, think small. From Jeremy's favourite beer company, something he probably had in the front of his mind after buying the rings for Sarah, reassuringly expensive. Or on a more serious note, there's BT's classic, It's Good to Talk. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of Almond Joy, but they had something that said, sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Or an interesting contribution from France. Any French people here today? No? Good, okay, I'm going to try out my French. From the newspaper Le Figaro in 1826, Son liberté de blâmer, il n'est point d'éloge flatteur. Which translates approximately as, without liberty to criticise, there is no flattery. So I toyed with all of these ideas. I've got a few cheap laughs courtesy of the internet, which is good. But after all that research, I decided that the best advice I can offer to you both on this special day is that which I was given on my wedding day. And I just say, don't take it too seriously, guys. Have fun, and just do it.